got to this point now, your first SEC Media Days. What's your thoughts on it and how crazy it gets?
Above and beyond expectations. You know, everyone tries to tell you about it, but again, I think that's what separates the SEC. That's what makes it special. That's what makes it the best football conference in America. And it's been a great venue, and everyone's been great.
There's been a particular buzz about your program since you got there. Talk about what it's been like to turn around a behemoth of a program, and with a lot of history and a lot of pride.
Well, you're exactly right when you talk about a lot of history and a lot of pride. And we've talked about it's a pride of who we are. And it's a challenge for our coaching staff, myself, for our current team and our recruits to get Tennessee football back to its rightful place among the elite of college football. And it's going to take a lot of work, but it's a tremendous opportunity. And we do have a lot of momentum right now. And but, you know, we have a great product to sell. When you look at our tradition, you look at our facilities, a brand new $50 million Anderson Training Center, the ability to play in front of 100,000 plus in Neyland Stadium, which I think is the greatest venue in college football, great academic reputation, and people make a place. So we're a national brand, and you know what, our current team has done a great job. They've been great ambassadors for us, and that's really helped in that transition.
Do you feel like you're rebuilding?
Well, I don't know if the term rebuilding, I believe that we're building our program. You know, and we've talked about building it brick by brick, and each brick is really an example of every person, every individual in our football family, our football organization. And so I think of it as really building our culture, our championship culture, our defining and articulating our standards, our expectations, our belief system, and the way we're going to conduct our business on a daily basis.
I feel like the players forgot that a little bit. Is that something you recognize when you got in and said, this has got to be changed?
You know, I don't know. I don't like to look at the past. All I know is this is how we do it, and we have a plan to win. And what I've sensed is our players have been eager. They've answered every challenge that we've given to them, and more so. You know, you look at, we challenge them right away in the terms of our strength and conditioning area. We have to get much bigger, much faster, much more physical as a football team. In about a month and a half, we dropped over 260 pounds of body fat as a football team and added 220 pounds of muscle mass. You look at our academics, I said before we could even start thinking about winning on the field, we had to win off the field. You know, we coupled that up with one of the greatest semesters in recent history of Tennessee football. We had 46 individuals with a 3.0 or above. We had about a 2.82 cumulative GPA, and then this past summer was even better than that. So I like the way they've conducted their business so far.
Coach, some of the momentum you spoke to comes on the recruiting trail, and I know you can't speak to specific commitments, but to see some of these players that are now working to get other guys to join them as Tennessee prospects, what's it been like to watch that fever go through this class that's putting itself together?
Well, I think, again, it's a pride for Tennessee football. And it is. It's a special place. There's only one Tennessee, and there's a lot of great storied programs, but I think Tennessee ranks up there. And I've always said it is, it's one thing to go to a program right now that's winning and established, but to be able to go to a program that's very prideful in tradition, that's had a great past, but to be able to be that group of collective individuals that get that football program back to national prominence, that's something that will stay with you and live with you the rest of your life.
What do you see as being your strong point in your team this year?
Well, I think the big thing is obviously everyone wants to gravitate towards the offensive line. And we have a very talented offensive line. Obviously, they have a very high standard and expectations for this season. But it's going to be, for us, is the depth part of it. You know, who's going to be our number 6, our number 7th offensive lineman. That's the thing that we have to find out in a hurry. And we may be forced, unfortunately, to play some true freshmen at those positions. But I think our offensive line, you know, I expect defensively to be greatly improved. I think we'll go as far along defensively as our interior defensive front will take us. I think that's the byproduct of playing great defense, and we're going to rely a lot. We have a lot of expectations on Daniel McCullers and the guys inside.
Talk about your offense.
Offensively, you know, obviously a up-tempo, no-huddle offense, but I think that can be misleading. You know, we're very flexible in our offensive scheme. You know, we want to think plays. You know, everyone wants to talk plays. We want to talk players and then plays. What does that mean? We want to get the ball in the hands of our playmakers. And I think we're still establishing our identity. We lost a lot of production on the outside the numbers in terms of our wide receiver position. So, you know, that may be another position that we're forced to play some true freshmen at. But, you know, our style of play is we're going to be a physical, up-tempo offense. If we need to slow the tempo down to protect our defense, we'll be able to do. But we're going to mold our offense around the abilities of our current players.
Coach, what's a weakness in the offense that you've been trying to correct in this offseason?
Well, I don't know if it's a weakness. It's more of an area of concern. I like to think in terms of concerns. I think it's our overall depth, you know, finding out again who's going to be able to provide depth and be the future in our offensive line. I think, you know, our running back position has to step up. You know, it's one thing to get what the play's blocked for, but now the ability to make a defender from the second level or third level miss, and instead of having an 8-yard run, it's a 28-yard run. I think it's hard to play perfect in any conference, let alone the SEC. You know, and then obviously our wide receiver position stepping up because it's going to be extremely youthful. Here's the thing that I've told our football team is we have to focus on the process and not the end result. You know, everyone wants to focus, you know, on the end result. We have to focus on the process. And we have to be a better football team, a better football program, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, month by month. If we do that, we'll like our body of work. But we just, you know, you look at all the great teams, you know, they progressively get better as the season goes on. And that's what we have to do. And that's going to take great ownership. It's going to take great accountability in our players. But I like what I've seen so far, but they understand the expectation.